So we've done the turn and kick. I'm trying to
Lotus.
get myself on. So we do the turn and lotus. Then you're going to step out to the diagonal corner, shift your weight, turn down. So there's really almost like 3 parts to this move, if you think of it. Okay, you're stepping. Here you're pulling down. Your weight, shifting your weight. So you're closing as you shift across. And you're opening and turning back. Striking with both fists. Then you're going to turn back again to the right. Strike with the lower fist.
That first strike is simultaneous.
Yeah. So the one thing you want to really get on this little sense up here is as you're stepping out, these hands are almost drawing in slightly. Then they're sinking down as you shift. And if you notice, it's not so much that my hands are moving a real lot. My whole body is closing down, loading onto the front leg. Then it's reversing and turning back with a punch. Then there's a third punch here. Turn.
This is the bending phase.
Let's just go through that, just the basic movement a little bit, and then we'll work. Because there's actually some really interesting things in terms of the name of the move about bending the bow and shooting here, and why you're saying that, why it's called that. Because that really has to do with what happens, how you store and release in your spine. Okay, the first part, as I sink onto this leg and turn, really want to be actively closing my quad here. So it's not just here, shift over to here. It's shift over to here, turn and close down. Now as you notice what this does, this leg then becomes very actively spirals and twists in this leg. And that motion in the leg gets transferred into the pulling down here. Then once I'm weighted there, then I'm reversing that turn. Nope. So from the step, I'm closing down and turning. Reversing it with this double strike. That's the first part of the move. Now, here's the trick for really doing this move well. This is one of the moves, and we've talked about this at different points a little bit. It actually kind of happens throughout the form, but it's not very visible. It's not very visible in this move especially. But they talk about in Tai Chi the idea of bending the bow, shooting the arrow. This really is talking about how you store strength in your spine and how you discharge. And this move is in a way one of the moves that's paradigmatic.
One of the what? Last, there's that last.
It's sort of paradigmatic of that bending pose should be. As you go from the step and you shift on here and close, as you're closing, your whole spine is actually bowed slightly. Like in the third Qigong we did. It's not that radical. So it's almost not even, it's not even visible. But it should be there. So as you're coming here, there's a sense of your whole spine drawing together. Top and bottom. So now the bow has been flexed, in a sense. Then I'm going to release it. There. So that's the first bending and discharging of the bow. If I exaggerate, which you normally wouldn't do in form. That's a quality through the spine of storing strength and discharge. Well, where does that strength come from? It comes actually partially from your own bowing, but really what it comes from is it comes from your opponent's strength. And so what happens is I come here. These hands typically would be connected to your opponent. Yeah, that's right. In some way. He'll give me resistance. And in his resistance, as I store, I'm storing his strength. Then I release it. And discharge it back in. So this first part, the first phase of the movement, the closing and turning, is as much, it's not just setting up to go into the turn, but it's also really about trying to absorb your opponent's energy and strength. And this is something we've seen a lot before. This is a place to live. It's fairly expensive. Here. So the timing of the stretching and opening of the spine is very important, because you want to have your spine go from being bowed to being stretched open, so that the timing is such as that. It's bowing, it's bowing, it's bowing. Boom. Here, closed, turn to the right. Then it's going to reverse. When this reverses and starts opening, my spine starts stretching out. And it completes its opening right there. So it's right at the point of when two strikes hit, the bow has completely straightened out.